Okay, so to start here, we were going to talk about Delvum until there's either no more questions, or I don't want to do it anymore. So, what's up? What do you want to know?
You want to take turns, or you want to just go at it?
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, go first. Go first, Chris.
My first question is, who was my nemesis? Who was that guy?
I think that got explained in game, so you must
I
not
still don't
care
get
that
it.
much. The gem had gotten stolen from him and then given to you, so he wanted it back.
Ah,
Let's see. Let me find my section on the gem.
It's so funny that you started off with a question you could have asked him at any point during the game.
I could have. He would have told me that.
What? It was
I
stuff
think-
that had just happened.
I think you knew it. Like
I
I think
didn't
I've
know
already
it.
told you. I think I already
You
told
told me some stuff, but not everything.
you.
Was there secrets involved with that guy? I thought he just stole from you and then, or you stole from him and then you ran into him again. And he was mad at you. And then you killed him.
Not a clue.
And you didn't remember who he was the second time you ran into him.
Thinking about this every night for months.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where this is. Start off with the heart. I haven't looked at this in a long time. So just give me a minute here.
My windshield broke on my truck.
Oh God.
Gotta go to Ithaca this Saturday. If anyone wants to go to Ithaca.
You broke as in it cracked?
Yeah, cracked.
Ah, that sucks.
Not sure how it cracked. I was driving down the highway and it just cracked. Either something fell off the overpass or the temperature just cracked it.
You know, rock flew at your window?
There were no cars around. It just cracked. That was
Oh.
Valentine's Day. I was getting a pizza. I shouldn't have got that pizza.
The pizza.
Yeah, they don't even cut his breadsticks there.
Yeah. I'm going to keep getting those breadsticks until they cut them. I tell them, you know, 1,000
You'll
different
show
ways.
them.
Yeah.
It's Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
I'm glad their move here
Laziness.
to follow you is paid off dividends for them.
You're going to regret it.
They don't make your food right, and now you're gonna constantly go there until they do.
I'm going to make them the Pizza Hut I want them to be.
Damn it! I should have opened up my own Pizza Hut when Chris
should've.
moved down.
The gold mine.
Yeah, be rich.
You should just open up a section of Chris's house as a Pizza Hut. You'd be rolling in it.
One on his street
Yeah, his next door.
by the neighbor's
End of the
house.
driveway.
You buy the neighbor's house and transition it into a Pizza Hut.
Oh, Curly's Chicken website has at the top, due to COVID-19, our business hours have been temporarily modified. Huh.
Wow. They haven't updated that in 4 years.
Oh man, I just don't know what the fuck this story is.
Anyone else got some questions to get lined up?
I mean, I can't look up 2 questions at once, so it's not going to be helpful.
You could like prepare though, mentally.
No, I can't.
No, not you. We can prepare though, right?
Oh yeah, you can prepare, but you guys have had a week to do that. Oh, I found it.
True.
Okay. All right. I've got. Baruch had originally thought that Ben-Vir gave him the stone, and through it, Ben-Vir gave him powers. He prayed to Ben-Vir for power or a way to stop Silica and Thanatos' plans. He found a jewel in the mines and put it in his mouth, turning his eyes red and giving him powers. Then he met Ben-Vir, and Ben-Vir said he had nothing to do with it. Then Sormes told him the same, and told him he should be following Sormes instead. Then Baruch met Fengari, who told him the stone originally belonged to Tapik, a follower of Pekro. Fengari stole it from Tapik to get into Tavalan's good graces, and sent a werewolf to deliver it to a follower of Tavalan, as the stone gives the user the power to absorb energy from defeated powerful undead creatures, and to also direct most of that energy to the deity of their choice. The werewolf died, and Baruch ended up finding the stone. The Tavalan follower has also since died. In the next dream, Gulvir will come to Tavlan and tell him that some of his followers tracked and killed the werewolf, thinking that Fengari was up to no good. They found the jewel after killing the werewolf, but were unable to determine whether it was magic or not, so they sold it. He doesn't know how it got into the mine, but he wants Baruch to follow him instead. And I was just going to keep doing that, adding more to the story of how it got to you, and every god saying they were responsible for it.
It's so cruel. So cruel.
But you didn't know any details, so it doesn't really matter. Like, who am I tricking? You didn't remember any of those names or details whatsoever.
No,
You didn't know the guy's name was Tapik.
no.
You couldn't remember who told you any of this stuff, so this is why I didn't want to do Delvin. Who's
Who
got another
was
question?
the mole at the school, or were there multiple moles?
Oh, multiple moles. None of the students had anything to do with what you were doing. But
Who
it was good, but each one led to other stuff. Okay. Students.
Well, we found out the satyr was working
True.
with the tree there or whatever. Not the tree, but the people controlling it.
So it wasn't
Right,
cat
but they
chlamydia?
didn't have any. But they didn't have anything to do with your artifacts.
Right. It's true.
Hold on. Let's see. That is going to be under. People. So, file. Let's see. People. Diaphanous Academy. Okay, so you had 4 people you were looking into. Gunter Diffenbachia, male Goliath fighter, and Festus. His god is unknown. His dad is current or former military. Secret info. Gunter is actually half Tabaxi from his mom. Remember, the Tabaxi are desert people who fight against the Festians all the time. He really wants to help the Tabaxi, but hasn't figured out how he wants to do it yet. He has the potential to be a great peacemaker and to even bring the Tabaxi into Festus, or to himself become a desert warlord. His dad is Major Anselm Diffenbachia and has no powers. His mom is Vaza Pulor, the leader of her desert tribe, the Lemon Hills tribe. Vaza is currently in Stratic prison. Recently, her tribe tried and failed to break her out. Info he doesn't know. His god is Sormes, who hasn't decided yet which way he wants to push Gunter. Limyadil Theophyta, female water genasi sorcerer from Mycath, her goddess Halden. Her family is originally from Caledonia. They left when she was 6. She's part of Chafe. She wants to use her power to create a new state for the waterfolk, but hasn't yet decided if she wants that to be the water quadrant like Chafe wants, or if she wants to find a spot to make an Atlantis. Halden actually likes the idea of an Atlantis, but is concerned that she will piss off Gulvir, Kirstus, and Yukil, the other gods of Caledonia. She'd also be abandoning the elemental core, and Limius has been trying to steal the spot. Limius being one of the Titans, trying to steal the water spot on Caledonia from Halden. So Limiadel was a terrorist. Zinfandel, you know. Cat Chlamydia. Female high elf rogue from Gardenia. Tall, god unknown, rich family from Clupus. Secret info. Cat's god is Rada, and she is super embarrassed that it's not Sormes or Adlasol, or hell, Anat, Gulvir, Parlios, or Makult, because her family are rich merchants. All 6 of those gods have connections to her family, and yet her power is granted by Rada. And instead of making money, she wants to help the poor. She spends her free time researching ways she can use her power to secretly help the poor.
Quick secret there.
Yeah, so you guys,
You guys were so wrong.
You
What a
guys
bitch.
had the bad guy as the nicest one of the whole group.
You can't win them all.
She wants to help the poor, and you guys are like, oh yeah, she's evil. Meanwhile, there's a
Evil
terrorist,
bitch.
a
Get her.
guy who wants to raise a necrotic god, and I guess Gunther wasn't that
I mean, she's kind of evil if she wanted to help Chris Poor.
bad. Yeah. How did she get her powers? Anat literally lost a bet to Rada, and Rada claimed Cat as her prize.
Wow.
The cat didn't know that. So that's how she ended up with Rada as her god. Yeah, so none of them were a mole.
What was the deal with the sun going out and then the moon?
Yeah.
The way it was showing the Earth or whatever.
Okay. The sun temporarily going out was Parlios getting murdered.
Wow.
Murdered him.
Yeah, that's why some people who follow Parlios, because they were talking about how all these crazy rules were being put in place by the church, and that people hadn't really been able to talk to Parlios in a while. Yeah, he was dead. Out of the sun.
Okay. Who killed him?
That is the answer to who the big bad is. Do you want to know that?
Yeah, I thought you were just going to tell
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. The bad guy was Kolok,
Oh,
Titan of Murder. And Smashy, who was your god?
Oh
Kolak.
no. Smashy was the bad guy. I knew it. I always knew.
Oh, well, wow. Peace Louise, how did that happen?
Right. Kolok killed Parlios and has been using his followers' blind devotion to corrupt them. He's doing the same with crazy people prone to misunderstand Balga. He's also been feeding power to other Titans to get them active, and then letting them get their asses kicked as a distraction. Ichia was first, Nikita was second. Remember Nikita had captured the Phoenix and was using that for her plan?
Yeah.
Kolok gave the Phoenix to her.
Mm.
Wow. We should have killed Cyrene right away.
Whoa!
Kolok's
not evil.
Troops consisted of Kolok's children, people like Cyrene who have been granted power by Kolok and then urged to murder. The Fang Society. That's the people who killed Gem Melodies. Giovanni and Team Fireball. The Priests of Parlios, like Archbishop Tuppus Gavilan and Clupus, and others. He's got doppelgangers. One took the place of the head of the Church of Parlios. That was the vision that you had, Smashy. Was of somebody murdering the cardinal and taking her place.
Okay.
The Maripol, which I'll get into later. And then I wrote, he has surpassed Delga in power and is now third in line after Sormes and Gulvir. He has absorbed the power of Parlios, who had been right behind Delga, along with Kemlet, several lower-powered mythics, dragons, and mortals with power. So that's how he was getting stronger. Other bad guys. Kemlet. Kemlet was captured by Kolak in 363 AB, and Kolak took his power. Kemlet then became an Atropol, which is a monster. Persephone is not dead. She instead became an Empyrean at the very end of the Great Blake. She basically lost her mind so she could still be considered dead. So she's like a huge monster as well. Haldan originally agreed to the creation of Caledonia because the elemental core located there absorbed power from the mortals and elementals and fed it to her. Gulvir, who's the god of air, Kirstus, who is the god of fire, and Yokel, who's the god of earth. But she wants her people to have their own nation, acknowledges that Chafe is probably right. Limius saw this as an opportunity and thought that she could replace water with cold as the fourth element. When Haldan realized what was happening, she found and attacked Limius, resulting in the party's ship being smashed when they were on their way to Jovial Town. Limius got away. Since then, Haldan attacked Limius twice more, but she got away each time. So finally, Haldan killed Team 1079C, blamed a sea monster, got the professors to help her, tracked down Limius again, and then killed her. And instead of absorbing all her power, Haldan made her a pet, a Kraken. So Haldan was not the main bad guy, but was a bad guy. And she's the one that actually killed 1079C.
Is she a Titan?
No. She's a god of water.
Huh.
She used that to get to school to help her to kill Limius the Titan.
Gotcha.
Limius kept getting away. Limius was the flying whale.
Yeah.
So why did I get my powers from him?
Because he was trying to get people to dislike the gods and to use their powers to blindly murder. It didn't really work on you.
See.
Like, you weren't evil or anything. You just had an unfortunate patron. You were that guy that got murdered in your town while you were on vacation. You were supposed to think that you did it, but you didn't. Like, you didn't think that you did it, but you didn't actually.
Who did it?
Yeah. Oh, it was you guys remember Archbishop Gavilan? From he was the asshole elf of Parlios from the big city.
Oh yeah.
He had a little buddy. His name begins with a Y. Ipsiles? No, is it Ipsiles? Might be Ipsiles. It was him. I think his name might have been Ipsiles. He's the one that did the murder.
I see. Travis, you weren't here, but he said I'm not evil. I wasn't ever evil.
No.
Well, I wasn't talking about Smash.
Yes. My character was not evil.
Well, you were hoarding money and not telling us what you had ever.
I had so much fucking money.
Who at the school of the professors was, or I guess what was the artifacts and the professor thing?
Yeah, the only evil professor was Perezny.
Isn't he? Which
Who's
is
the
that the one
guy
we
that was?
always talk to? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, who's the guy that was imprisoned? He was falsely imprisoned.
The guy that was in prison? No, he was one of Kolak's people. He murdered a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he really did murder. He was just another one of the Kolak people. Like all the Dalga people you kept finding, those are all Kolak people too. It was just Kolak tricking them,
I
like
see.
they were actually murderers, and he was tricking them into thinking they were following Dalga. But even though Dalga is the god of slaughter, like it more means like slaughter in battle, not randomly going around murdering people, because murder is Kolak's thing. So that's where the whole misunderstanding was coming from, and he was doing that on purpose. That was the only real hint you guys had that it was Kolak, was that these people were saying they were following Fengari, but they were actually acting like Kolak followers. We didn't get far enough into the campaign for there to be other better hints.
What about
Yeah,
the Titan of? Sorry.
Wait, I didn't answer the Perezny thing yet. You
Okay.
wanted to know about what the artifacts
Yeah.
were. Yeah, so Perezny was a bad guy. Where did I write that part? Wait. No, a lot of that was in my head. Okay. This is a good summary. Kolak, the god of murder, wishes to return to godhood, destroy the new gods, and bring the Titans back as gods. He has already successfully replaced Parlios, god of the sun, and tricked his followers into becoming devoted. His most devoted follower is Archbishop Tuppence Gavilan. Gavilan has since assisted Donatello Perezny of the Diaphanous Academy to become stronger. Perezny has two things that drive him. One, an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, and two, a desire to improve the mortal world through magic. Despite support from Gavilan, Perezny detests gods, titans, and monsters. He sees the nationalism of the world as wasted effort and would see the mortals united in their own strength. Perezny originally uses Giovanni of Team Fireball to obtain artifacts for him. These artifacts are described by Gavilan as being necessary to give Perezny the power to rid the world of the gods. However, Gavilan knows that they can also return the Titans to power. So when the party defeats Giovanni as part of a political request, Perezny is forced to enlist the aid of the party to correct the artifacts. He is met with resistance from the Academy regarding the necessity of such efforts, and so he makes it seem like an artifact was stolen someplace else. In fact, Giovanni got that artifact for Perezny, and no one realized it was missing. Perezny will eventually wake Namisavra and assist Namisavra in using the artifacts to raise a number of monsters. Namisavra will then attack a bunch of people, and the party will face him as the second big boss. Namisavra was the leader of the Maripol. He was the big. There was a big statue in the orc city that you guys had seen of like a huge ass monster. That was Namisavra. It wasn't a statue because I remember I explained that it seemed to be made out of a different material. It's not a statue. It was him turned to stone.
Mm-hmm.
So Perezny was going to bring him back to life.
Hmm.
Namisavra coming back to life would start a war, and then Perezny and the party would work to stop the war. So
He was
basically, what was
kind of
happening?
evil, but sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, he was Thanos evil, right? Doing bad things in favor of what he thinks is the best good.
Yeah.
Why would he?
Yeah.
Why would he care about the war? The war broke out.
Why would he?
Because he
What?
wanted. I said, but you said he would help stop the war.
He would first cause the war and then help stop it.
Oh.
He was causing a lot of problems and then working with you to solve them. And the idea was he was doing it to enable you to get to places where you could get artifacts from. So now the artifacts themselves. I had artifacts. Yeah, I know I do. Let's see. The element ring, that was the first one you got. You gave that to Perez. The component rug was the thing that Jim Melodies had. The Fang Society killed him and gave that to Perezny. The Lion's Portion Kite Shield was the one you guys got from Torntooth. You gave that to him. The Octahedron Ingredient Gem you guys got from the auction and gave to him. I can't remember what you did with the Segmented Cape. Did you give that to him or did you keep that?
I feel like I still had that.
Yeah, you might not have given that one to him yet. The Fractal Star Brooch and the Icicle Fragment Javelin, those two hadn't come up yet. And the Peacemaker Dagger was one that Giovanni got. And the names of all the items have a synonym for like the word part. So, because together they make one thing. So, element ring, component rug, lion's portion, kite shield, octahedron, ingredient gem, segmented cape, fractal star brooch, icicle fragment gem, and the peacemaker dagger.
Cool.
Wow.
And then the plan was to go to, I can't remember what it's called, basically the center of Delvum, where there is an intersection of 8 ley lines, and that's where like very powerful magic was, and there's a shield over it, and combining the artifacts can get you past the shield. And he was going to use that to gain power. Now, Prasny was technically working for Kolok, but he wanted Kolok dead too. Like Prasny wanted all the gods and titans killed. So, which way the whole thing was going to go between Prasny, Kolok, and Gavilan really depended on what you guys did as the story progressed. Because those were like the three, like the church guy, the guy you were working for, and then the evil god were like the three people that really could end up being the big bad, depending on how the story went. But like the next adventure was going to lead into the Nami Savra thing. What was supposed to happen was Prasny had set it up for it to look like goblins had attacked the school. So like, you guys were going to get back. Somebody's either drinking a juice box, or shitting their pants.
Not me.
Okay. He was going to make it look like goblins attacked the school and stole one of the artifacts, and that would result in you guys being sent back to, I can't remember the name of that country. Balaam. You guys would get sent back to Balaam because the school would think that Balaam attacked, and then you would end up in the middle of the Nami Savra thing when Nami Samar comes to life, and it would make you think that Balaam had stolen an artifact from Prasny and used it to bring Nami Savra back to life, when really Prasny was the one behind it, and Fang Society were the ones that were going to bring it to life.
Oh, jeez.
What was the
Right.
deal with Capsalon and him like moving? when we did the whole thing with Torntooth, or his hand moving. Was he alive? Or his body was at Clock Tower, I guess. Just what was the deal
Yeah.
with him?
He wasn't. He was dead. But his body still had a lot of magical power stored within inside of it, and the clock tower is actually a magic item now. Um, I remember the things I was calling devices.
Hmm.
It's a device. Um, Horntooth Clock Tower. Legendary device worth 50,000 gold pieces. This is one of the few devices that is neither modern nor Chimerian. It was built by Kirstus and Sormes after the Great Bake, using Capsalon's face. Gulvier killed Capsalon here, and his body was resting above the ley line near the water. Kirstus and Sormes dug a tunnel for the water, which powers the clock. So it is a magic object which emits divination magic, and it runs off the power of Capsalon's body and the ley line. Once the Torntooth anomaly has been dealt with, a DC 30 Arcana check in 7 days of time, a person can figure out that the clock tower can be used to view the past as long as the user can fix that location in their mind, meaning they have to be familiar with the location.
Hmm.
So you can use it as like a television to look at the past.
Oh,
Because you guys did get like divination magic coming off of it. And there was language written on everything that you couldn't read, and that's because it was written in like the robot language. What the fuck is that called? I can't remember what that's called.
welders, people.
No, not those people. I can't remember what they're called. There's a type of creature in D&D that's like little clockwork guys. Monodrone, duodrone. It's called.
Chimerians? Like Chimerian core?
No, it's a real D&D.
No.
Like it's a real language in D&D that was created by the god of order and stuff.
What were some of the things that we could have bought at the weird store? Like if we collected the right currency, the right coins, or whatever they were.
What
The
are
saw
some of
coins?
the things?
Yeah, yeah.
The store had everything.
Got a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you just needed to have enough money. But like at the Saul's Market, like you could buy anything. Anything that either exists in D&D or I created. It's a legendary anything. I didn't put a limit on what could be bought there at all. You know, so you had like the main story with those three bad guys going on, and then the shit Halden was doing with Chafe, and then also people from outside Delvum trying to get in because they wanted to take it over too. But like the gods were already taking care of that. That wasn't something that really needed you guys.
Did we ever figure out who the ones were in Smashy's dream that what was it? Who they killed the hero there? What's his name?
Jim Melodies. It was the
Jim.
Fang Society.
The what society?
Fang Society.
How about
Assassins.
my dream or the weird places? Where were those places?
Dream of the weird places.
Like the portals going to
Oh yeah.
things.
Didn't we figure that out too, though?
I don't
Might
actually know
have.
what he's talking about.
That was like the what was it, incursions or something like that, right?
They're like weird animal things,
Or
monster things. What were they?
they
Those
would
are
come
people
through
from
like
other planes or something, right?
yeah, the other planes would come through.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I mean
how
that was still going on, but the gods
the
knew
gods
about
came
that.
through.
They've been handling that for a long time. It's just the mortals didn't know about it.
Oh, did you ever answer why the planet looked different on the moon while we were on the moon?
Why the planet looked different? Well, remember, so the moon is outside the barrier. Remember, there's a barrier that's surrounding all the different regions of Delvum. Like, is keeping them separate, which is why they need like those special portals to attack you
Mm.
guys. And so the moon is outside of that. So you're looking at the planet like through the force field, the purple force field. Does that make sense?
No,
Really? It's like,
I don't understand. Why does it look different though? What were we looking at that was different than our normal Delvum?
well, the world's a lot bigger than just Delvum, so you weren't looking at Delvum at all. You were looking at some other part. You know, the planet is a circle or a sphere,
Right.
and Delvum's
So
just
we
a
ended
small
up on a
place.
different side of the planet. I
Yeah.
thought we could see the moon from where we were.
I mean, you guys didn't roll particularly great checks, and the planet's a lot bigger than the little moon. So, like, you just happen to be looking at an area that wasn't Delvum.
I
Delvum's
see.
small.
Okay, gotcha.
Delvum, all of Delvum is the size of Greece.
Okay.
You know, so imagine being on the space station, looking down at Earth. It's like, you
So we were
don't happen
zoomed
to
in just on
see
a different
Greece.
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't when you looked up, you didn't happen to see Greece,
Got it.
basically.
Okay, now I understand.
And that was just a matter of like what you guys were going to see was going to depend on the rolls.
Were my dreams and like the decisions I were making was that gonna matter at some point?
Yeah. Let me go to that. I figured yours might be one of the first things we would end up resolving.
Hmm.
'Cause it was like you knew exactly what your mission was.
Yeah.
Mm, I gotta find where I wrote. Hold on. Because I wasn't going to look at it again until I had to do your next dream. Where did I put this? What was the name of your dragon?
My dragon?
Yeah.
Um Look, I can't remember what his name was. I can't look. Can I? It was. Let's see.
Furious.
Yeah, and then Vathis was the other one. Zephyrus, yeah.
I have a summary someplace. It's fucking dreams. Man, my notes are so all over the fuck. I wonder if I just put the whole summary in your last dream as a reminder to myself. Maybe that I was planning on just bringing it down the next time I did it. Okay. The point of Nelios is this is like my note to myself. The point of Nelios' vision should always be to determine what magic items will exist that can help Nelios to defeat Vathis. Gaga intends to help Nelios to locate the objects as he identifies them. Ultimately, he'll need strong armor, an effective weapon, and the right strategy along with reliable allies. You already got the armor. Summary of Nelios' previous answers. He chose a spear with 3 points, then a long spear made of mithril with gold trim, and a point made of a swirling mixture of adamantine and silver. He chose Dynium armor, and the second time, a Dynium breastplate covered in different dragon skins. He chose Fire over Thundic and Psychic, then he chose Radiant over Fire and Necrotic. He chose Dalga over Zephyrus and his classmates, then a large greenskin minotaur with a great axe, snake tongue, and lizard skin over a paladin construct and a bull kobold. So, kind of the idea was through the dreams is that you were going to design the things you'd end up needing to defeat Vathis, and then once I got you those things, then you'd know you were prepared, and you would bring the party down there to hunt him. And he had like other dragons and dragon people and all kinds of shit down there that you had to fight.
Cool. Yeah, it would have been fun. Risa, did you have any questions?
I just wanted to know, was Tabalin was he really on our side?
Yes.
Nice.
All the stuff about him
That's
being
it.
different.
That's all she had.
All the stuff about him being different is that he was from one of the moons. He was actually a fae, not a god.
Yeah.
And the gods would never talk about it, but it made them uncomfortable. But they didn't want to talk about it because they didn't want people to realize there were other deities out there. Because it was important to them that, like, the gods are in charge and they kill the titans and that's everybody. When in fact,
Oh.
like, compared to all the gods across the world, they're like the weakest.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna say because, like, I guess in my head I thought only gods would be able to communicate with you like telepathically, but Tavalan had no problem. So I guess that makes sense though. If he was like stronger than the other gods.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was an archfey, and like, so in the like the D&D world of like who's super powerful and who's not, both the elemental plane and the fey realms have creatures that are as powerful as demigods, but not as powerful as gods. But the thing about the gods in this world is that they were all a piece of Vankin, meaning that each of them was like an eighth of a god, which means that Tavalan was actually as strong as them. So when he came down, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this too, and I'm gonna help you guys in like fighting the Titans." They were like, "Okay, whatever." And then from then on, they had to pretend he was a god like them. But I mean, he was still a good guy. It's just that
Yeah.
there was secrecy surrounding him because if word got out, like they got all their powers from people believing in them and praying in them and needing them. And if people realized that, like, no, these aren't the only gods, there's other more powerful gods out there, that would be the end of them.
Right. Right. Okay.
Gods didn't seem all that good overall. Some of them, I guess. But
Yeah, most of them are pretty shitty.
I feel like that's true in like all like history of gods. like in mythology and everything. I feel like that's usually what happens. Like gods are like they're like half evil.
Sure, but a flawless god is boring.
Right.
He's like, why would the world need you guys if all the gods were just altruistic? They would just solve all the problems.
Right? Yeah, like if you think about like Greek mythology, that's the best. That's the best. It's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I really want to know more about like what Daphne would have done. You know, what's she gonna do the rest of her life?
I don't know.
give your epilogue.
You guys
Yeah.
would have
What,
had to
what would you
decide
do?
after you graduate what you're gonna do next.
Yeah, what was
think
Daphne
I
gonna
think
do after he graduated?
I think Daphne would explore the Blue Wilds.
Did you go alone?
No,
Do you
I
have a
think she'd
goal?
try to what?
You have a goal? Like why you want to explore there? Just for
Well,
fun.
because that's where like a lot of the monsters come from, and her town is right on the edge of it. So I think she'd want to see like if she could push it back or something. You know, her Daphne's ultimate goal was to defeat the monsters, and that's where the monsters were coming from to her.
Yarrow would go back to the mines.
No, Yara would have tried to hook up with that Cammy, that pink tiefling, and have a sex-filled life of greatness.
Cammy was actually the god of love.
Oh, geez.
That's hilarious.
hilarious.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was debating on whether or not you'd end up getting her pregnant.
Oh my god.
I was trying to decide.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's what Yara would have done. And never stepped foot in a mine again.
And he would learn sports finally.
No, he would have banished sports forever.
He actually became a volleyball all-star.
Become king of Delvum and ban sports.
Band sports. Yep, he would have. Now that he's married to a god, he would have used her powers.
Baruch would have killed all the necromancers and bounced around from god to god, eventually getting frustrated. And then he'd start his own house for small boys or something. I don't know.
Fuck.
So
Oh boy.
I thought you were gonna say
Oh,
start
no.
your own religion, and then you said
Fuck
house with small boys.
yeah,
That's really fucked up.
he soft spot.
Oh,
The rest of us would have teamed up at some point to kill
Yeah,
Baruch.
taking
Right,
Yeah.
down
I had to take
Liberate
him
the
down.
small boys.
revenge mission.
Anything else?
Did everybody else say what they would do? Like what their character would do?
They did not.
I mean, I would try to kill the dragon, so I more or less already said what I would do.
I think Cyrene would have, after, hoarding all of her money and making sure, her family's got enough money and is comfortable. It actually kind of grew to like life out on the road.
Aw.
So she might, take the boat and travel around.
Aw. That's cute.
A 3-hour tour.
Cyrene and what's his name? Gross face guy. Fairgon.
Oh, yeah.
George Bush.
Wait,
George
yeah, I was
Bush.
just gonna say what about George
Oh.
Bush?
He's a pirate.
Yeah.
Cyrene really liked Farragon, so.
Baruch?
He said he would make a house filled with little boys.
Oh.
We're all gonna have to
I didn't
kill
hear
him.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he
More
said
detail?
he said he would bounce between gods and then kill all the necromancers and then make a house filled with young boys.
It'll teach them not to respect the gods.
like why would you have a house with young boys? What are you gonna do with them?
I'm going to teach them not to respect the gods.
Okay.
You're gonna spend all that time just teaching them just that?
No girls allowed.
Daphne gets suspicious and starts
Really?
patrolling.
He's really not making this better, is he?
No.
Daphne's like, is there a new monster here?
You got to sign a form to get in.
Just sign a form.
Cool. I feel like I have some closure.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite parts were Torn Tooth and the auction stuff. I like both of those.
Mm.
I liked
Yeah.
Those are good.
I liked the Pokemon basement thing.
Oh, that was fun
Yeah.
too.
That was unique.
Yeah, that was really unique.
I like the pandemic, and then using our fog machine and stuff.
Oh wait, also the what was that called where we had deja vu?
In
Yeah, that's what
Torn
Ryan
Tooth.
said. Torn tooth.
Yeah.
Torntooth, yeah, I
That's
like
cool.
Torntooth. That was a good one. That was really fun.
I only regret we didn't do an evil run of that.
There was a lot of mystery. I was confused the whole time, trying to figure things out.
That's why I don't want to play it anymore. It's,
What happened to Jack?
it's just too much.
Yeah, who's
What
Jack?
happened to him? What do you mean what happened to him?
Oh, was there anything else about it?
He got eaten. What else is there to say?
He was real.
What? Yes.
Yeah, he was real.
Okay, just making sure.
When we
Maybe-
remembered him, we were really sad. Or who remembered him?
Yarrow was best friends with him.
We could have used that ring of wishes to bring him back to life. And made Joe play him the rest of the campaign. For the loss.
That tortured Joe even more. Damn.
I would have just killed Chris's character immediately.
Yeah.
I get to be Jack.
And then
Yeah.
he plays
and
as
then,
Jack.
And then he plays as
I
Jack.
chop my own head off.
Right.
And chops his
I'm a douchebag. Yibbity dibbity. Sounds just like
Yippity-dippity.
Jack. Buzza buzza zing.
Let's go back and play it.
No way. I didn't even want to do this today. I definitely don't want to play it.
Sorry.
It was a good world. Like there was a lot of
It really
freedom to go
was.
around.
It was really, really fun. We played it for like what, 2 years?
Yeah, it was just too much information that obviously was. I mean, you guys can attest to how hard you struggled to remember any of it because there was too much.
Oh yeah, we're just saying it was really fun, and I don't know, I'll miss it.
We do spend like 2 hours trying to open the door.
Yeah, well, on to the next.
Are we good?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, everybody get on Foundry.
Figure out when we started a label. My notes with dates.
Well, my
5 May of 2022. It looks like we started.
my videos all have a date too.
Yeah, that's my
For each
first
session.
note. 5/18/2022.
Well, I'm excited about the next game because you guys are going to have a lot more participation in designing the world, which may not mean that you remember any more than you did before, but at least you'll have skin in the game as far as being allowed to be part of that creative process. And what I'm excited about is to find out what's going to happen just the same time that you guys do. That's how this game works.
Okay.
Indeed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So go to Dungeon World Rules.
Okay.
Wait, where? What am I doing?
Open book icon.
The journal.
Oh,
Journal.
thank you.
Okay. So this game is a lot like D&D in the sense that it's got like the same classes, the same types of stats and all that stuff, but the rolling is very different and the extent of the rules is very different. So Dungeon World is more like having a conversation. And like in combat and such, there's no turns or rounds. Instead, everybody takes turns kind of naturally, and things kind of happen more freeform. So let's go to number 2, ability scores and modifiers. So the way that ability scores and modifiers work is that You have strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, just like in D&D. But the scale on those is 3 to 18. And then each of those have a minimum modifier of -3 and a maximum modifier of +2. And when we get to it later, we can look at the chart for what that's like. The next tab, making moves. So moves are a move is like anything you can do in this game. So there isn't like a difference between like attacking isn't a different thing from like climbing a wall. Like you use a move to do everything. And there are general moves or basic moves that everyone has access to, and then there are class specific moves that only you can do because that's your class. So like it has an example move here that says when you attack an enemy in melee, roll plus strength. So it's going to be you roll 2d6 and add your strength modifier. On a 10 plus, you deal your damage to the enemy and avoid their attack. At your option, you may choose to do plus 1d6 damage, but expose yourself to the enemy's attack. On a 7 to 9, you deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you. Which basically means you hurt the enemy and the enemy hits you. On a 1 to 6, you've missed. And you're probably going to get hit as a result of missing. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everything goes on the scale 1 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 plus. And you're always rolling 2d6 and adding whatever the appropriate thing you're supposed to add is. Let's see. I don't think I need to read anything else in that section. I just explained that part to you. So moves and dice, I just explained that basically. Basic outcomes, 10 plus, you do it with little trouble. 7 to 9, you do it, but with complications or trouble. 6 below. The GM says what happened, and you marks XP. You get XP in this game generally by failing. If you get a 6 or lower, you get XP, which means you guys are going to level up at different rates based on how your XP is going. There are other ways to get XP, but that's like the main way. So you should be trying to do things even if you suck at them, because failing gets you XP. Okay? Moves and equipment. The most important role of a character's equipment is to help describe what moves they make. A character without a weapon isn't going to be able to hack and slash when fighting a dragon, since a bare knuckle punch doesn't do much to inch-thick scales. Which means that whenever you're doing a move, you need to have the thing you would use to do that move. So if you're going to stab something, you need something to stab it with. Sometimes when you have stuff, if you have the right supplies, you won't even need to roll. So it says there when you're climbing a sheer icy cliff, but if you have a good set of climbing gear, you might not have to make the roll at all. Is that all making sense so far?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Who
This game
decides that, or does the equipment have like a description?
I mean, I decide that, but some of the equipment will have that in the description. Items typically don't have any stats at all, your gear. Instead, they'll have tags. So like weapons before might have like +1 or do a particular type of damage or be bludgeoning or slashing or be long or light or have all these other stats. And in this game, they only have tags. Tags. Some tags have a specific effect on the rules. Things like damage reduction on armor or a magic bonus to a particular kind of move or stat. And other tags are purely about the fiction, like the close tag, which would describe the fact that you have to be close to somebody to use it in an attack. You can't if you have a knife, you can't make an attack 600 feet away. Okay. The effects of move. This describes what some of the terminology means. So it says, like, a little ways down, it says some moves use the phrase deal damage. Dealing damage means you roll the damage dice for your class, not the item. Sometimes your item will add or subtract damage too. You use your damage dice anytime you make an attack that could reasonably hurt your target. Usually that means you're wielding a weapon, but your fists can be weapons with the right training or an interesting situation. If the move says take +1 forward, that means that you're going to take +1 to your next move roll, not damage. Okay, so what that generally means is your success has put you into better position for the next thing. Does that make sense?
Could you still kind of have attack and damage as separate things? Is that always the case?
Your attack is going to be the 2d6 plus whatever for whatever type of attack you're doing.
Yeah.
And then your damage has nothing to do with the weapon. It's your damage die plus whatever tags might be on the weapon, if the weapon has some other tag. It says, like, you deal an extra die of damage if you're using this axe on a tree or something like that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is when you make a move and the move says, on a success, blah, 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 and take +1 forward. That means it's a +1 on your next move. Because your success has not only gotten you the result you wanted, but it put you in a better position for the next move you make. And sometimes it'll say take +1 ongoing. That means to take +1 to all move rolls as a result of what you've done. So not only did it put you in a better position, but it perpetually put you in a better position. So it says, take +1 ongoing to volley. Volley is when you shoot something. So hack and slash is like melee, and volley is ranged. So if it says take +1 ongoing to volley, you've done something to help your aim for all the attacks you make with that bow for like the rest of this fight. Would be +1 ongoing to volley. Maybe, you've climbed up to a higher position, and as a result of getting up there, take +1 ongoing to volley because you're in a better position. Tell me if I'm confusing anybody. I hope everybody's listening. Okay.
Makes sense.
Sometimes the move will give you hold. Hold is currency that allows you to make choices later on by spending the hold as the move describes. So maybe what happens is you're doing research. You spend the night doing research and you make a roll to see how well you research. And you've gotten a success. It might say, on success, take 5 hold. What that means is later on in the story, when you are, something comes up and you're like, hey, did you see anything about this in your research? You'd say, I'm going to spend a hold to succeed. Because I did all that research. I got 5 of these things. I'm going to spend one right now to say, yep, this was in the book and I remember it.
Cool.
I really like that idea compared to how D&D does stuff, because otherwise it would just say, well, you have advantage on the check.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I want to decide whether or not I fucking knew. And so I really like this idea. It works. There's a lot of stuff it works in, but this section is explaining to us like the terminology it's going to use, so you understand what it means later. And then there's a few more things here that says, like, sometimes it presents a choice where it says, you got a 7 to 9, and it says now, you either get to pick this or this. or sometimes it'll give you a chance to say something about your character and their history. The big one there is spout lore. There's a move called spout lore, and when you spout lore, if you succeed, you basically get to decide like what the world is like. So what I'm going to do is I'm creating things is I am purposely only designing what I need, and I'm leaving everything else as a blank space so we can fill it in as we go. All right, I think that's everything for that section. Harm and healing. So this game has HP, just like D&D. Your class gives you HP, and your Constitution modifier adds to your HP. That's pretty simple. Damage. When a character takes damage, they subtract the damage dealt from their HP. Armor can mitigate damage. Damage can never take a character below 0 HP. 0 HP is your minimum. There isn't really resistances or anything like this in the game, but like tags can do special things. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, and then it's got examples for the DM for like when other things use this for damage. So like if the thing threatens bruises and scrapes at worst, it's a D4. If it's likely to spill some blood but nothing horrendous, a D6. If it might break some bones, a D8. If it could kill a common person, a D10. And then some things ignore armor. Let's see. Blah blah blah. Stunning, adding, subtracting. Yeah, this has the idea of best and worst, which is basically you might have some moves that let you roll extra dice. So it says if a monster rolls its d6 damage twice and takes the best result, it's rolled as B2d6. W would mean the worst. Blah. 2 sources of healing, medical aid, and the passage of time. It's the same thing as D&D. Death. A character who is reduced to 0 HP immediately takes his last breath. Last breath is a roll with no modifier. Let's see, where's the last breath roll? Oh, we don't. It's the last breath is listed in the moves section, so we'll just get to it later. But the idea is you roll 2d6 with no modifier, and if you fail, you die. So don't go to 0 hit points.
It is one roll.
Yes. Don't go to 0 hit points. Abilities we don't need. Magic we don't really need to go over. Yeah, we don't care about that. Character change. 10 is the maximum level. Typically, when you get to level 10, you either have your character start over with a new class, or that character retires and you start a new character. If we ever get there, we'll figure. Bonds. Bonds are things that develop naturally throughout the course of the game, where you have bonds with each other. And it says at the end of each session, you may resolve up to 1 bond. The resolution of a bond depends on both you and the player of the character you share the bond with. You suggest that the bond has been resolved, and if they agree, it is resolved. When you resolve a bond, you get to mark XP. The bond is resolved when it no longer describes how you relate to that person. That may be because circumstances have changed, or because it's no longer a question. So, like you owe somebody a debt, when you make it up to them, you've resolved that bond.
I was I was interpreting it as like a friendship.
Well, yeah, I mean that comes into it too.
Sorry. No, I was thinking never mind. Because you kept
Okay.
saying you resolve a bond, and I was like, what happened to our friendship? You know what I mean?
Oh
But
yeah, not
I
all
wasn't.
the bonds, just some of them. So at the bottom it says writing new bonds, and it's got 4 examples. So like I owe her one, or
Okay.
I consider this person a liability, right? That's a bond, and it
Yeah.
resolves when the person proves they aren't a liability, they aren't a coward,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay. I'm following.
I'll prove that I'm not the callous fiend she thinks I am. Blah 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 blah. So that bond exists until it's resolved, and when it does, you mark it. Alignment. So the alignments, it's not 2 things like in D&D. It's only 1 word. So it still uses the normal of lawful, chaotic, good, evil, and neutral, but you would only have 1 of the 5. You don't have 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives examples for each of the alignments here. I'm not going to go over each of them, but it's a pretty good list. Hirelings I'm not going to go over right now, but you can hire people to travel with you. Adventurer's life doesn't matter. And I want to skip character creation, and I want to look at basic moves. Are you guys good on alignment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to 12 then. So basic moves are moves that anybody can do. So typically when you're doing something, you're either using a basic move, or you're using one of your class moves. So hack and slash is when you attack an enemy in melee. Okay? So what this explains is this is exactly the same as the example above. On a 10 plus, you deal your damage and avoid their attack. You can add extra damage, but you also expose yourself to their attack. And on a 7-9, you deal your damage and the enemy makes an attack against you. The enemy's counterattack can be any GM move made directly with that creature. A goblin might just attack you deck, or they might jam a poison needle into your
Into your what?
into your veins.
He cut out there at the
He
crucial
did.
point.
Yeah.
Inject a needle into your.
I was like,
Okay, it says, note that an attack is an action that a player undertakes that has a chance of causing physical harm to someone else. Attacking a dragon with instinct metal skills, full of magical energy with a typical sword, is like swinging a meat cleaver at a tank. It isn't going to cause any harm, so hack and slash doesn't apply. You don't even get to roll. But if you're in position to stab the dragon into its soft underbelly, then that could be hack and slash. One thing to note here is that, like, if your idea is I want to sneak up on the guard and slit his throat, that's not going to be hack and slash. You're going to roll to sneak up on him, and if you succeed, you kill him regardless of his hit points. So it's not like D&D where you're like, I snuck up on him, I stabbed him, but he has 200 hit points, so it didn't do anything. Like, no, if you successfully sneak up on a sleeping guard, you can just slit his throat. That's that. He's dead. Volley is the same thing as hack and slash, except that it is shooting. And 10 plus, you deal your damage. 7-9, you choose one, and whichever you choose, you deal your damage. So like this is where it's like giving you options. So it says choose one. You have to move to get the shot. You have to move to get the shot, placing you in danger. You have to take what you can get, so your damage is reduced by a d6. Or you have to take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1. And the way the ammo works in this is you're not using one of your ammo every time you shoot. You're using your ammo when something says you've lost one of your ammo. So this is one of the ways you lose ammo is, well, I rolled a 7 to 9. I just want to do my damage. I don't want to go someplace dangerous, so I'm just going to use that third option over and over again and just keep buying ammo so that it doesn't matter. Like that's a thing you could do. Make sense?
Mhm.
Defy danger is kind of the replacement for saving throws. And it says defying danger is when you act despite an imminent threat or suffer of calamity, and you say how you deal with it. If you do it by powering through, it's strength. By getting out of the way or acting fast, dex. By enduring, constitution. With quick thinking, intelligence. Through mental fortitude, wisdom. Using charm and social grace, charisma. And then it says what the results are. I'm not going to read all of these. If you guys want to read them, you can always copy paste any of this someplace if you want to read it on your own. Or I sent the spreadsheet to everybody too, the PDF. Everybody. Defend is when you defend someone else. On a 10 plus, you hold 3. On a 7 to 9, you hold 1. And then it says, as long as you stand in defense, you can spend one of your hold, and it gives you 4 options. So that's an example of spending the hold. So you can see how getting a 10 plus is better than a 7 to 9. You get to do it 3 more times for free. Good so far?
Why do you get to do it 3 more times?
On a 10 plus, it says hold 3. So then it says, as long as you stand in defense, when you or the thing you defend is attacked, you may spend your hold 1 for 1. So you get to do it 3 times instead of once.
Okay. Would you necessarily have to use those
No, but it says that
holds?
it says when it happens, you can choose to spend one.
Okay. Okay.
So if you're standing there defending someone, like on the first attack, you want to have the damage, and then like the second attack, no, I'm not going to do anything to that one. And then like on the third one, okay, now I want to deal damage back to the attacker. Like you choose to spend it during the fight. But once you're not defending that person anymore, the hold is gone.
Okay. Makes sense.
Like it's situational.
Mhm.
Spout lore is when you consult your accumulated knowledge about something. Roll plus int. And that's where we kind of get to make stuff up. Discern realities is perception. And the way it handles perception is that on a 10 plus, you get to ask 3 questions. On a 7 to 9, you ask 1. And then it says, either way, take +1 forward when acting on the answers. And then there's a bunch of questions there. And basically, you would ask me, depending on how many you got, those questions, and I would answer honestly. So that's how perception works. Let me know when everybody's good.
I'm good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Mhm.
Parlay is persuasion. Aid or interfere is when somebody else is doing something and you want to help them. So it says on a 10 plus, they take +1 or -2 to their roll, your choice. On a 7 to 9, they still get a modifier, but you also expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost. the idea there is that if Smashy's trying to do something and she gets a 9, someone else can say, I want to aid her. And that can give Smashy a +1 to give her a 10 so that it would be a full success. So then the person aiding would need a 10 plus to just make theirs a 10. Or if you got a 7 to 9, you could still make it a 10, but you're going to put yourself in danger as a result.
Okay.
You guys want an example of that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Smashy's character is trying to climb up a wall, and she gets a 7 to 9 as she's climbing up, which means she's going to make it over, but because she didn't get a full success, once she gets over the wall, she's going to fall and get hurt. And Teresa says, well, I want to help her so that she doesn't fall. She got a 9 on her roll, so if I succeed, Smashy gets a 10 and she doesn't take damage. Follow me so far?
Mhm.
So Teresa rolls and she gets a 9 on her aid. She gives Smashy the +1, Smashy gets a success. But because Teresa got a 7 to 9 on her aid roll, she's now going to put herself in danger somehow.
Like in the same situation, like falling over.
Yeah, maybe she falls over, or in helping Smashy, she drops something and doesn't realize it.
Mm.
And I'm like, yep, you dropped this, you didn't realize it, that's going to get left behind. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the cost.
Can you string together multiple things? Like if she fails and someone else helps her?
People say you shouldn't do it because it says no matter how many people aid or interfere with a given roll, the target only gets the +1 or -2 once. You're saying you want to aid and aid?
Yes.
It doesn't say you can't. So sure, because if so now Teresa got a 9, you want to make hers a 10. Yes, you can do that because now you're putting yourself at risk of something bad.
Mm.
So yes,
But does
you
it go
can.
back up the chain? Does it like you help
Yes.
her, then she helps
Yes.
Smashy?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's confusing.
Not really. You just don't
Mm.
understand it yet. It won't be. It won't be confusing eventually.
It's complicated. It's not confusing.
But you would really only do this when, like, the original
It was a 6 or a
roller.
9.
Okay.
Because if they got an 8, making it a 9 is useless.
Right.
So really, it's only if they have a 6 or a 9. Or if for some reason you wanted them to fail, I guess if they got a 10, you could give them the -2. Special moves are the more unique ones that aren't used very often. And the only one I want to go over is Last Breath. So it says, Last Breath. When you're dying, you catch a glimpse of what lies beyond the black gates of Death's kingdom. You roll. Just roll, plus nothing. On a 10 plus, you've cheated Death. You're in a bad spot, but you're still alive. On a 7 to 9, Death himself will offer you a bargain. Take it and stabilize, or refuse and pass beyond the black gates into whatever fate awaits you. On a 6 minus, your fate is sealed. You're marked as Death's own, and you'll cross the threshold soon. And it does say that, like, well, if your character dies and the party doesn't want the person to die, fine, we'll find a way around it. You can find a way to bring them back. You can let them stay alive, but they have to accept like a really bad deal. So
So is it common or expected that you die and get resurrected, or is it?
No, resurrection in this type of world, like resurrection isn't a thing that really happens. But in Dungeon World, you're not like you're expected to die far more often in D&D than you are. So
Or
like
far more often in Dungeon World than D&D?
no, D&D you die more often.
Oh, okay.
Because in Dungeon World you are more mortal than you are in D&D, and in this game it does make more sense to run away when you're in real trouble. But that's supposed to just be part of the story. Like in D&D, it's really hard to run away because usually whatever you're fighting is going to be able to catch you really easily. But in this, like running away and escaping might just be a single roll. Like you're running through the streets and roll and yep, you got away. So it's a lot easier to run away in this game than it is.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm not going to go over the rest of the special moves. End of session. So that's considered a special move. I don't know. When you reach the end of a session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved. Ask the player of the other character you have a bond with if they agree. If they do, write XP and mark XP and write a new bond with whomever you wish. Once your bonds have been updated, look at your alignment. If you fulfilled that alignment at least once during the session, mark XP. Then answer these questions as a group. Did we learn something new and important about the world? Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? Did we loot a memorable treasure? For each yes, everyone marks XP. So end of session and failing, those are the ways you get XP. End of session, you can get 1 for completing a bond. You can get 1 for fulfilling your alignment. And everybody in the party can get 1 if you complete any of those things.
So at the end, each person does the bond thing, or we do it as a group.
You do the 3 bullet points as a group.
Okay.
So the first 2 things are individual, and the next 3 things are group. And then again, every time you fail a roll, you get an XP. Leveling up is subtract your current level plus 7 to level up. So if you're level 1, you need 8 XP to go to level 2. And if you're level 2, you need 9 XP to go to level 3. If you're level 3, you need 10 XP to go to level 4. When you level up, you choose a new advanced move for your class. If you are a wizard, you can add a new spell to your spell book, and you choose one of your stats and increase it by 1. If it changes your modifier, then change your modifier. And I want to go right into characters after that so that makes sense. Are we good so far?
Yep.
Think so?
Okay. Under character creation, I want to start with number 6. So go to character creation and then go to number 6. So your ability scores are on the left and the modifiers are on the right. So when it says when you level up, increase one of your ability scores by 1, you're increasing the number on the left. Understand that?
Mhm.
Yep.
So if you have a dexterity of 13 and you do something and I say, roll plus dex, you'd roll 2d6 plus 1. All right, so let's go back to number 1. Choose a class. So as we go through, everyone's got to choose their class, their race, make a name, look, a lot of that I don't care about for now. We can come up with it later. Choose your stats. You start with 16, 15, 13, 12, 9, and 8. And then we set maximum HP, starting moves, alignment, and so on. So, let's begin here. Choose a class. So, go to the items section, guys. What do you guys see in
I have nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
nothing?
Wait, where's the items?
On the right side of like where the
Next to
journal
journal.
is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now can you
Oh,
see
there I
Well,
see.
I have
classes?
Yep, I see
classes.
now.
Okay. So I'm gonna run and go pee quick. You guys look at those. I can answer questions when I get back. But those describe the people. And wait, where are the moves? No, you guys are gonna want to look at the moves too. I will also open up the moves section. See the folder now for moves. Now this is not the way we should. This isn't the way we should do it. The way we should be doing it is using the PDF. Everybody go on Discord to the Dungeon World room and open the Dungeon World Spreads PDF. Can everybody open PDF?
Hold on.
Yep.
Where am I going?
In Discord.
Dungeon World.
Discord. Okay.
And open that PDF. This is a far better way of digesting it. You have it open, Teresa?
Yeah.
Okay, page 66. No, 84. Page 84 is the Bard, and the classes are chapters 5 through 12, with the Wizard being chapter 12. So look through those and talk amongst yourselves about who should be what. This picking the class may take the rest of the time, and we'll finish making characters next time. We'll see. I don't know how much you guys have thought about
Does anybody have one that they are already leaning toward?
Nope.
I was kind of thinking I wanted to be the bard.
Okay.
Like the druid or the wizard.
Just thinking the thief or the ranger.
I think, Ryan, I'll be whatever one you don't want to be. Both those sound good to me too.
Chris?
Maybe the fighter. I gotta look at what he does.
I don't have a strong preference. Teresa, if you'd prefer one or the other.
Okay, let me look more.
because I definitely don't want to rush you guys into picking your class because it's such a big deal.
I think, Ryan, I want to be the wizard.
Okay. I'll go with the druid.
Okay.
Has everybody already decided though? I think Chris was
No.
talking.
Those
Just
two
me
have.
and yeah, just me and Ryan because we both liked the same ones.
Maybe Smashy.
Yeah, I think yeah, I want to be the bard.
Nice. What are you thinking, Travis?
I'm still reading through the Ranger stuff.
Mm.
Okay, those of you who have decided, I just quickly created a blank character sheet for you. And Teresa, you're the wizard.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys have decided, open your character sheets. These sheets are basically exactly what we want. It's fantastic. On the drop down next to your name, you can select your class. I already did for Teresa. I don't want you to do anything else right now. A lot of these have like what when you're reading through them and it says like this race can do this and this race can do that. I don't care about that. You pick the one you want. You guys can be whatever race you want. Like I'm not gonna race lock that stuff. You pick which one of those you want and be whatever race you want.
Wait, where do we put in the race? Did you say?
Races in the bottom left.
Oh,
But like, if you're ready to pick a race, you can.
well, I want to be an elf.
What kind?
I don't know.
Well, we have feather elves so far, and we have water elves so far. Do you want there to be another kind? You also don't have to decide tonight. We can like text about it later. I don't
I
mind
want to be
creating more elves, but
I want to be a water elf.
okay. So we decided water elves have water for hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Teresa. Oh,
What?
I was trying to look at something on your sheet and realized I didn't have your sheet. So Ryan, Teresa, and Smashy is. Well, hold on. What was the next thing on our to-do list? Choose a
Me?
race. Race and name. I mean, race and name though. You guys and appearance. Like you guys can use that. Like we don't have to figure it out together tonight. So I think rather skip 2, 3, and 4 and jump right to 5. in the chat. So Teresa, Smashy, and Ryan, what I just put in the chat is the thing you should be working on.
Make me the fighter because I don't want to think anymore.
I don't know, Chris.
Struggling.
You act like a bitch. Are you gonna be somebody who will run in and actually fight?
Who's a bitch character?
You usually play like a bitch.
I want something different.
Yeah, well, if you want to do something different, that's great. I thought you did great as a healer, so I think you can do it. You said you don't want to think, but I don't want you to be bored either.
And I'm gonna be bored with a fighter. I think they're all kind of the same basic. It's what you do with it.
Yeah, okay. So you can click on your character sheet, and there's a drop down next to your name, and you can select fighter, and then start doing what I put in the chat.
Was there any particular stats we should be thinking of by doing this? Like, spell modifier is such and such for
Well,
wizard or.
Yep, you should look at what moves you're thinking about taking. Your starting moves you get, and the advanced moves are the one you get as you level up, and it tells you what you roll for those things. So that's what you want to concentrate on. Constitution does give you hit points, but yeah, you should use what your moves are to figure out where you want to put the points.
I have basic moves listed, and then I don't have any starting moves
Yeah,
listed.
use the spreadsheet. Use the why do I keep calling it a spreadsheet? The
PDF.
PDF. Because you don't have any listed because you haven't selected them. Well, I can put your starting. Yes, can I? Yeah, you tried. It just created a new move.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. It's not very helpful there, is it? Okay. Bard, starting moves. Arcane art. Bardic lore. Wait, I'm looking at the bard. I
I'm
know the bard.
not bard. No, I'm druid.
Yeah, I opened the wrong one. What are your starting moves? Just read them off.
Born of the soil.
Okay.
By nature sustained.
Okay.
Spirit tongue.
Uh-huh.
Shapeshifter. And studied essence.
Okay. There. Now you have yours. Smashy, what are your starting moves?
It is arcane art,
Mm-hmm.
bardic lore,
Okay.
charming and open.
That's the third one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a port in the storm.
Okay. Teresa, what are your starting?
Spell book. Prepare spells. Cast a spell.
Hold on, you have to quick. The fuck is spell? Let's see, hold on, let me. Yeah, it says spell book and prepare spells. Oh, I'm looking at the spells, not the moves. That explains it. Okay, spell book, prepare spells. Okay,
Cast a spell.
cast a spell.
Spell defense. And ritual.
Oh, it doesn't have the word spell in it. Spell book, prepare spells, cast a spell, spell defense, and ritual. And take a dump. Let's see, Chris. Chris, what are your starting?
Once us choose a race first. Does that matter?
So I told everybody to
No,
pick their class, then do the stuff in chat. What are your starting moves?
You start with these moves: bend bars, lift gates.
Okay.
Armored.
Okay.
Signature weapon.
Cool.
That's it.
Just 3, huh? Yep. Of course, you still have decisions to make.
Wait, where do you put the stat? I think I'm confused.
Where do you put the stat?
It says to look over your basic moves and then
Uh-huh.
assign the where do I put a 16?
See where it says strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma?
Yeah.
Number below those words. It
Okay.
currently says 10.
Okay. Okay, I get it.
How you doing, Travis?
I'm struggling to make a decision.
It's okay. Because I think you'll make your other decisions probably faster than everybody else, so don't worry about it.
Maybe.
You have questions for me?
Well, I'm considering either the cleric or the ranger.
Okay, both good choices.
What's a rote?
It's the cleric version of a cantrip.
Okay.
They use
I'm looking
different
at
words so that you don't get them mixed up.
I'm looking at commune. I don't really know what it does. It says you lose any spells already granted to you. What does that mean? I'm losing prepared spells or like extra spells given to me? And it says I'm granted new spells of my choice. This level doesn't exceed
Yeah,
1
yeah,
plus
yeah, yeah.
1.
So what it's saying is, when you spend an hour, you can change your spell. That's what it's saying.
Okay, so it's switching out
So it
spells like
says
prepared spells.
it says when you spend an hour, an interrupted hour in quiet communion with your deity, you lose all your current spells, are granted new spells of your choice whose total levels don't exceed your own level plus 1, and prepare all of your rotes, which never count against your limit. And there's only 3 rotes.
Okay, and that's just a note
It's a
that
cantrip.
doesn't affect the cantrips. Okay.
Well, it does affect the cantrips because it says you reselect.
Reselect them, but they're not counted against my limit. Why couldn't I just take all of them if they don't affect the limit? Are they not like cantrips in that they still get used and waste a slot when you use it or something?
No, there's no slots for rotes.
Hmm.
Hey, hold on, let me read through again here. Yeah, it just says every time you commune, you gain access to all your rotes without having to select them or count them toward your allotment of spells. So you have all three of them. The idea is when you cast a spell, do you see cast a spell there, Travis?
Yep.
It says on a 7 to 9, the spell is cast, but choose one. And the third option says after you cast it, the spell is revoked by your deity. You cannot cast a spell again until you commune and have it granted to you.
Okay, so that includes rotes.
Yeah, so what it's saying is you can temporarily lose a rote by rolling a 7 to 9 and choosing that option, but when you
I
commune,
see.
you get it back.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
that's not an everyday thing. That is, you can do that as long as you have an hour.
Right. I've never played a healer before, so I guess I'll just be the cleric.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
So on the drop down, Travis pick cleric
Uh,
next to your name on the
cleric.
character sheet.
Oh,
Go to your character sheet next to your
yep.
name. Just drop down.
Okay, and then class cleric. Got it.
And I'm moving in your basic moves now. Okay. So now you have to do your stats. Just look at the chat. So, Teresa,
Yep.
just want to ask why you went with wisdom instead of intelligence.
Um, let me look back why I did that. Oh, because I feel like what I was imagining for my character is not necessarily like book smart, but having good instincts. So I was looking at like for my basic moves, the discern realities, which would use wisdom. I was just thinking that would be more what she would do.
Okay. I'm only making a comment because your spellcasting is based on your intelligence. But you've got that at 15 anyway, so you can just level that up to 16 the first time you level up. So it's not
Yeah.
much of a difference. Um,
Okay.
if Travis had taken the ranger, I would probably be giving you a hard time right now because then you would have a druid and a ranger, both of which would already be wisdom people.
Mm-hmm.
But since Travis isn't a ranger, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who is not done with their stats?
Me.
Anybody else? Maximum HP is your class's base plus your constitution score. Your score, not your modifier. Actually, it may calculate it for you. You may not have to do that. No, it hasn't.
Okay. I think I'm good with my stats.
Okay. Is everybody doing their hit points?
What did you say it was? Plus something plus Constitution.
It's your Constitution score plus whatever your class's hit point is. Let's see. Bard is 6. Cleric is 8. Druid is 6. Fighter is 10.
Plus the
And
modifier or plus the score?
the score.
Okay.
Wizard is 4.
So you would do Constitution plus 4. Right?
It's on the bottom of the chapter 8, chapter 7, whatever your
Yes,
character
your
is.
Constitution is 9, Teresa, so yours would be 13.
Okay.
So change your maximum HP
To what? What'd you say?
to 13.
Weak as fuck.
Wizards usually are.
Yeah. It's because I'm made of somewhat of water.
Right.
Because you're made of whiz.
Yeah, and wisdom.
The wizard.
Okay.
Peas on everything.
Mm-hmm.
We should go back to race. I don't care about you guys actually selecting the actual race, but you need to look at what the game locks to your race and choose which thing you get. So it's the very first thing under starting moves. Lists some races.
Oh, yeah. I have a
Choose which.
cantrip.
That's what you want. The first
Well,
thing.
because I'm an elf.
I'm okay. I've said a bunch of times. I'm not race locking this stuff, so you can choose the human one instead if you want. I don't care about what the game does.
No, I still want to keep that one.
Okay. And at the same time, you guys, you aren't limited to the races on this. We have said that there are different types of elves, along with dwarves, halflings, humans, Purins, and the fuck was Cranbor again?
Unicorns.
Rubicorin, yeah.
Oh, there's
And
Golemai.
the Golami? Golami.
Golami.
We could always make up more if you want them.
I'm gonna be a Golami.
I want to be a berry person.
I want to be a
Rubicorin.
Purin.
So write Rubicorin. You guys can write your races in if you want them.
Wait, what did you guys all say? Are you two of you being Rubicorns?
No,
Oh, just
just
Ryan.
Ryan.
Oh, I got really excited thinking we had two Rubicorns. It's such a unique race.
Hi.
Am I made out of berries, or are the birds gonna eat me?
No.
What's
I
everyone
mean,
else?
you
Yeah,
aren't
what's
any
thinking
more
here?
made. You aren't any more made out of berries than I am made out of steaks.
So where do I
Think
go to
about it
look
that way.
at words of the unspeaking? Where do I find that?
Words of the unspeaking. Well, that sounds cool.
Oh, I found it. Okay.
No.
Cleric spells. Okay, what else do people pick for their race-related thing?
I want the human starting move for fighter.
I have to look it up. You're not going to tell me.
It says once per battle, you may re-roll a single damage roll. Yours or
I
someone
have a
else's.
name for it.
What's it called?
I don't have a name.
Oh, okay.
So it's human.
Same with mine. Yeah, it's just labeled elf, human, halfling.
Hmm. Okay, let me see if there's another way we're supposed to find it. Well, I think just write that in the section underneath your race then. There's a little edit thing. Matter of
Okay.
fact, I should do that for Teresa too, so that we remember what we did. I did put that on your character sheet, Teresa, and made it a cantrip
Where?
into your spells.
Mean by
There's a tab
always
for spells.
considered your land.
Where are spells?
There's a tab: description, moves, spells, equipment.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Is there any?
Oops.
Which race isn't taken yet?
What does it mean when it says Great Forest is always considered your land? Or should read the whole sentence, sorry. In addition to any other attunements, the Great Forest is always considered
Look
your
at your
land.
shape. Look at your shape changing. Travis is Golami. Teresa is
Yep.
a water elf. Ryan is a Rubicoran. He put an S on it because he's multiple Rubicorans apparently.
That's on my sheet.
Smashy is a Purin, and I think you were a walking pile of shit.
Yep. That's what he said.
Walking.
Pretty sure he's a mudquacker, honestly.
It
My
sounds like you're a
duck-
human or a dwarf or a halfling, Chris. You should be a fucking dwarf and speak in a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can
What
do
the
that.
fucking find you?
That sounds intense.
Lives in your land.
What a sleepy Scotsman.
He's just
Joe,
drunk and you can't understand him.
I'm taking the words of unspeaking race trait, which is cool because I'm a Golami and it says it only works on stone.
Okay. What does
So,
that mean?
what's the spell do?
Is it a spell? Is it a different
Yeah,
level?
so
What's it say
it's
it
a
does?
fifth level spell,
And
it lets you speak with the spirits inside of an inanimate object. So yeah, okay. Here it says, with a touch, you speak to the spirits within things. The non-living object you touch answers 3 questions you pose as best it can, and I can only use it on stone.
I see. And when you cast it, you're casting it as what?
Good question.
Where is this?
You are one with stone. When you commune, you are also granted a special version of words of this unspeaking as a rote.
As a rote. Okay, it's a rote.
Yeah, cool.
Which means it's a level 0 spell.
Yeah. Sweet.
And I'm going to change this to words of unspeaking stone.
Nice.
When you speak to the spirits within stone, there. So I edited the description.
Cool.
So that it applies only to stone. And then what I've been doing is putting that text. What race are you choosing, Chris?
It's either another Purin or a human. I don't know if we have humans though.
Humans exist in this world for sure.
I'll be a human.
Okay.
Human.
All right. Name and look you guys do on your own. Stats we've done. Modifiers we've figured out. HP we've figured out. Okay. Starting moves with choices. We have to make those choices.
What?
You're starting moves that have choices. You have to make those choices. So look on your character sheets.
I gotta pick a deity. We don't have one designated yet, right? So we gotta make it up.
No, Plumera is the only one we have.
Okay.
Wordle.
So Plumera.
So, wait, you're going to be a Golami that worships Plumera?
I don't want to, but you said it's the only one we have.
No, you can make up more.
Oh, well, you.
I mean,
made
you
it
do
sound
live
like I
awful
couldn't.
close to the bird hole.
Wordle.
True.
Wordle.
I want to since the Golami village is like hot or whatever all the time. I want to worship the god of the sun or something.
Or something. I think you need to think
Not
about
or
it.
something. I want to worship the god of the sun.
And his
Didn't it
name
have-
is.
His name is uh
Leo.
Shulkar.
Shulkar.
How do you spell it?
I don't know. Shulcar.
Oh shit! I gotta add that to the fucking notes. Where? What are we doing here? Player notes. Man. I guess I don't have a spot for gods yet, do I? Okay, I created one. You said Shulkar?
Sure.
God of the Sun, worship by Golami. And then Plumera, bird god. That's all I'm going to write.
I have to choose a domain for the god.
Well, hold on. I want everybody to pause because I
Okay.
forgot about something. Under the journals, there's one called One Player Notes, like the number one.
Mhm.
So the one titled Nation name has all the stuff we put together about when we were playing the Quiet Year. So it's all in there. I put names in bold so they're easier to spot. The next tab has the races that we've decided on already. And then the bestiary is all the animals that either we created or I already had in mind with pictures.
God. The bookworms.
I knew you'd like that. I told Travis you would. Called me a lot.
I love it.
That's what you
Sorry,
described.
where are we looking?
I love
Rackadillo.
this I love
At the
that
bestiary.
Rackadillo.
What the fuck is that? When
I
did we
want
talk
to
about
turn into
that?
one.
That's awesome.
Wait, where's the bestiary? Help me.
Under one player notes.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, the pictures are all great.
Yeah, they're really good.
Wow, those caterpillars are pretty much exactly what I was imagining.
I tried to do what you guys described.
Love it.
Here. I want a Rackadillo as a pet.
Me too.
Okay. And then I
Angle's sweet too.
Pangalope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was figuring the Pangalopes live in the mountains next to Mountain Shadow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's a penguin with hawk wings and antlers.
I love it. Looks sweet.
Old weather bird.
Okay, yeah, this is the last thing we're doing, making these decisions. Now, when you make these decisions, you should edit that move so that it's not confusing. So get rid of the like edit the text and change it. So instead of making a decision, just put in what you've decided. Like make the syntax make sense so that you understand what you're saying
Where am I writing this?
on your character sheet. So under deity, edit it so that instead of saying some deity, like write, that you worship Shilkar, god of the sun.
Okay. Where's deity though?
It's your first starting move.
I know it's my first trying move. I don't see it on the character sheet though.
It is. I don't know what to tell you.
Your starting moves.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Does Teresa start with every cantrip? I think she might. Yeah. Those on right now. Teresa, are you choosing your spells?
I chose them already. I'm just waiting for you because I don't know how to add them in.
Okay. Okay, so you get all three of the cantrips.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the first level spells you're choosing?
So I already get detect magic because that's
Yep.
with my race, and then
Yeah.
I want to do telepathy.
Wait, how many can you choose?
3
Really?
from my from my the spell book as the basic. You
Oh,
start out with
okay.
3 first level spells in your spell book as well as the cantrips.
And then when you level up, you get more.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Well, so what were they again? What were the three?
Telepathy, invisibility, and magic missile.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I get the detect magic. I don't know if you should add that one.
It's already there.
Oh, it's up. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, I made it a cantrip
Okay.
because that's how you have it. So, Ryan and Teresa, you don't have spell slots.
Mm.
That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that when you cast a spell, the spell is forgotten for Teresa, and I don't know how it works with the cleric. What does it say when you cast a spell? That move. Ryan's looking, guys.
I don't really see.
Yeah, it says after you cast it, the spell is revoked by your deity. You cannot cast the spell again until you commune and have it granted to you.
Where does it say that?
Under cast a spell? It's one of these
Joey.
7 to 9 options. What?
I thought of the best name for my character.
Well, then give your character the name. Do you want to say it out loud right now, or wait till next session? We're about to stop.
Where do I put it where it says Teresa?
Yes, you replace your name with the character. Yes. It's not every time, Ryan. That's not what I'm saying.
Is this on the PDF or on the character sheet? Or
On both. On both. If you go to cast a spell, as
not on
you're
the
starting
druid
with,
section?
I was thinking Travis this whole time. I'm sorry. Not you. It's not you, Ryan. You don't have spells. Yeah, that's my bad. Travis, when Travis casts a spell, it might be revoked.
Right.
But there aren't spell slots.
Joey, look at my name.
Yes, I like it.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Well, we can go through that next time. Okay, so I know Teresa did. Well, I guess next time we'll just start with this and we'll see what decisions people haven't made.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are free to choose stuff in between sessions because you have the PDF. But like, I don't know if Teresa had other things to choose other than that first one.
No, that was it.
I don't really have anything to choose either besides my deity and stuff.
Okay. So Teresa, I know is done.
Yeah.
Well, Travis, your decisions are important though.
Right. So I picked Shulkar, I picked healing and restoration, and then the precept of my religion is trial by combat. And then divine guidance says when I petition my deity, according to the precept of my religion, I gain some useful knowledge or a boon related to the deity's domain. The GM will tell you what.
Okay. So the precept is personal victory.
Yeah.
So you have to petition your deity because you want to win something.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So it's all kind of dependent on itself. Okay, Chris, where are you? Did you just choose whatever you needed to choose?
I think so.
I'd like
Oh,
to
I
get
gotta choose
everybody.
I gotta choose my gear.
Oh no, we're not. We haven't done that yet.
Okay.
We'll finish that up next time. But you can always do it. You had to do your signature weapon.
Yeah, I got that.
You did?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
You just crossed it out? Why wouldn't you delete it all?
I can remember what I didn't pick.
Okay.
I think it's the last one.
Okay. Smashy is the bard. Did you pick whatever you had to pick?
Yep.
What was that? The bardic lore?
Yeah, and I did the bestiary of creatures unusual.
Nice. When you first encounter an important creature, location, or item covered by your bardic lore, you can ask the GM any one question about it. The GM will answer truthfully. The GM may then ask you what tale, song, or legend you heard that information. Sometimes, Smashy, I might just let you decide.
Okay.
Whatever you decide
Cool.
becomes reality. So like I said, I'm going to try to avoid pre-planning a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Who haven't I talked to? Brian. Druid. Born of the Soil. Did you pick that? What were you doing this whole time?
Oh, I was gonna ask, do I get to choose another one, even though I've got the elf one?
Yes.
Okay.
That one was an addition to this.
And
Is that okay if I go?
Yeah, we're done. We'll pick up back here next time and finish
Okay.
making the characters, and then figure out bonds and stuff, and how we want the story to start.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
I'm gonna, in between sessions here, I'll finish making the map too.
Okay.
Travis, how does the map look?
Looks great.
Yeah.
Looks really
All
good.
right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Ryan,
everybody.
I'm gonna stay here for a minute while you pick.
yeah. So the forest would be like the forest we're in.
I think you already have
I
that
assume.
one. Isn't the one you
Yeah,
start
that's
with?
what I have with elf. Yeah. I don't think much of the rest of it applies. Maybe towering mountains. We got mountains around us. That's what I'll go with.
I think you can pick more as you level up too, or something. Maybe like an advanced move lets you pick.
Yeah. The druid sleep. It's a higher level move. You can spend time in an appropriate location and attune yourself to new land.
Yeah.
So the effect occurs only once, so I think you can only do it one other time. Although I guess you could take the move again, but I think that'd be seemingly a waste of the move.
Right. So, I mean, really, you should pick a spot based on what kind of animals you want to be able to, because you can only create animals that are from the ones you
Hmm.
choose. So you might want to think about this and decide next time.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll think about it then.
Yeah. Okay. I will see you.
Okay.